Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome to Rebuilding Conversations. We are on episode 8, guys. Good job. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. You are really encouraging this journey, yeah? So on our episode today, guys, we have a very interesting guest. Our guest has won so many hearts. She's a doctor, she's a lecturer, and I will let her introduce her on the other things. But my highlight about her is that she was on 40 under 40 2025. Interesting, right? Yeah, so the reason why I chose this particular guest is because I noticed we have a pattern from maybe the guests that we have had and also from the comments that I have read on most women having to rebuild their lives from scratch. So I wanted her to talk to us mostly about women empowerment. So let me introduce our guest today. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Montari. I'm really grateful to be here.
Yeah, we would love you to introduce yourself. Tell us what you do, whom you are. Yeah, define yourself.
Okay. I'm Catherine Gathu. Those are the official names on the ID. Or my friends call me Cathy, which I like. First of all, I'm a wife. I'm married, and then I'm a mother. I have 4 children.
Wow,
Interesting.
you look so young for 4.
But I'm grateful. And then I'm also a medical doctor by profession. I'm trained specifically in the field of family medicine, which some people don't know what it's about, but it's about whole person care. I enjoy doing that. And other than that, I'm a medical educator. A medical educator is a doctor who's been trained to teach. We don't like to assume that just because you're a doctor, you know how to teach within a classroom setting.
So does that make you a lecturer? Oh, okay.
You're very
Kujapotea.
Yeah, you're very correct. You'll find me in a classroom somewhere empowering the young people.
Wow.
So I'm happy when you invited me to do this empowerment, discussion was thrilled. And I was like, okay, at least I'm able to articulate what I guess I do on an everyday basis.
Nice.
Yeah.
An empowered woman, guys, right? Yeah. So I think the first thing I would want to know, what is your definition of empowerment, especially in matters women?
Okay. Thank you for that question. I was trying to think about that because I think it's a buzzword in many places. Some people may confuse empowerment as independence. It may or may not have aspects of that, autonomy, there are certain buzzwords that go around when you hear that word. But first of all, I define it as a process. It's not a place you get to or attain, but as a process. Number 2, as an internal process, as I've said, that manifests externally. Like what people see or what people get out there. And when you see a woman and say she's empowered, I always believe it starts from an internal process. A woman is unlikely to exhibit that attribute if they have not done that internally. So I like to think about it as a daily process that is like an inside-out process. It has to do with a woman really knowing who she is, as opposed to allowing light situations, circumstances, even career define who she is.
Oh, nice. I would want to know, when was the first time you heard about empowerment growing up? Like, at what point when you were growing up did you know there's empowerment and I need to do this and this and this to become an empowered person?
All right. I may have had it in different terminologies. As I've said, people define it differently. Independence, autonomy, things like that. So I'm not very sure I had that term until much, much later in my life. But I remember growing up, my dad really wanted to bring us up as whole women, women who knew what they wanted to do. And even in my career as medicine, I can tell you, I talked to some of my colleagues and they actually say they realize they want to be doctors much later in their lives. I think I knew I wanted to be a doctor when I was 5 or 7 years of age. And I said it. I kept on saying it. that point, I didn't know what it would mean, but I kept on saying it. And I think luckily for me, I had parents who believed in that, and they groomed me to be where I am today. Yeah.
Well, that is nice. Was empowerment taught to you, or did you discover it on your own?
Not explicitly, meaning I've never attended a class where we were told this is what empowerment is, but it was demonstrated. I grew up with a very strong-hearted mother, yes, who taught me a lot of what I exhibit today. Firstly, I want to say in the place of prayer. I've seen her pray her way into becoming who she is right now, and more so also modeling that. I've seen her do that. My dad also passed away about 20 or 18 years ago, and how my mother rose up after the demise of my dad was still another demonstration of an empowered woman, because she actually rose up to be a very different woman, perhaps even stronger than she was even at that time when my dad was alive. So it's not been taught to me explicitly, but has been demonstrated.
You have been able to see it
I've
and
been able to see that. Yeah, in the women in my life, like my mother, and of course some of my other, I'd say, mentors. I really am a strong believer in mentorship. For us women, yeah, I really believe in that.
But these conversations like you ever had with your mom growing up, or maybe after, did you ever have such a conversation?
No, not really. I think for her, she was like, I could just see what she's doing. But when I think back about like in high school, I know we did have such conversation with some of my teachers at that time. And it wasn't really empowerment. It was, you have to be confident in who you are. So that's perhaps another way that that word was explained to us, just being confident in who you are, and identifying who you are quite early in life, as opposed to allowing life situations, transitions to define who you are, because we know those things, they're quite temporary.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You have been able to achieve so many things at a young age, for sure. 40 under 40. I believe that's so young when you have done quite a number of things for yourself as a woman. Could you maybe take us through what have you done? What was different for you? Like, how have you done? How do I put it? Yeah. What have you done differently? What was different with you that you were able to achieve so much by this time?
Okay. I think the first thing, just to dream back from my experiences and my upbringing, is that it was instilled in me, the high school I went to, that confidence was non-negotiable. You really had to be confident in what you're doing. You'd rather fail trying, but at least try. Be confident enough to try. So I wasn't given an opportunity to second guess myself. And as I'd already mentioned, even my career choice, it was actually, I was able to identify that very, very early. And the rest of the process was sort of to help me nurture that. Because for you, for example, to be a doctor, there are the grades you had to perhaps attain when you were in primary school, high school, choosing the university you schooling, so all that. But I guess for me, what I can say, one of the things that helped me is being very intentional and purposeful. And that helped me craft exactly and be able to define, what I want to do. You can think about something, but unless you articulate it and you're able to write it down, it becomes an idea. So I think that's one of the things that, has helped me along the way. Goal setting. And not just goal setting in my mind, write it down. When you think about strategy, be quite intentional, be quite purposeful about what you want to do, write it down. So me, that writing it down, being very clear about what I want to achieve, by what duration, not unrealistic timelines, but just, give yourself timelines. The other thing that has helped me, to be honest, is stepping out of my comfort zone. Some of the things that I could hear you talking about a few of my accolades and things like that, it's not perhaps anything that I ever dreamt that I would do or be, but I stepped out to unknown territories. Sometimes I don't know what I am doing, but I go out in faith. I'm a strong believer of faith. and mentorship. People who've gone there before me, and they would tell me, you know what, you can. With this and this in place, you can. And of course, faith in God. So I believe that even when it comes to empowerment is slightly outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
At some point, even as women, we have to stretch ourselves in those unknown territories, believing that it can be done. Yeah, so writing it down, strategy, and as I said, just going a little bit outside your comfort zone. Another thing, and I know you know that, I'm a strong believer of networks. Networks. I think especially for us women, they say, and I believe that your network is your network.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important. Connections. You know, women who mention you in tables that perhaps you never thought you needed to be there, who bring you and expose you to opportunities. So that really has helped. And also academics. I think, and I consider, maybe let me call it education as opposed to academia, because education, what it helps you with is exposure. You're exposed to a different set of thinking. So I've been privileged to go to good schools, or schools that had good teachers, because teachers are also very important, that helped me to think beyond the current place that I was in and show me, you know what, it can be done. It can be done. So yeah, these are some of the things that have helped me to scale and do what I'm doing right now.
Oh, nice. I know that you have mentioned matters academic.
Yeah.
Maybe you could tell us about what education means to you and what it has made you achieve.
Yeah. Education is so imperative. And I want to say that especially to young parents like me and you, I believe that the schools we choose for our children right early, they form who they will be in future. It's very important. I think gone are the days whereby we say wherever they go, as long as they get I think gone are the days, because it's very, very important. I was speaking to our young people the other day, and I was telling them, this education systems is not just all about knowledge acquisition. And even currently where I work at Aga Khan University, not all about knowledge acquisition. When you think it like that, anyone can get knowledge from anywhere, including the University of YouTube. There's a University of YouTube.
Where most of us learn
can. But the thing about education and where it is that you learn and things like that is places where you can think, where you can be taught how to think. Yeah, so for me, education is critical thinking. It's being taught how to think beyond the boxes that sometimes we put on ourselves or the systems put on ourselves. It's being taught how to think, adapt. Adapting is also very important, because it's not everything. Life will not appear the way you were taught in a textbook. We like to say, especially in medicine, that sometimes you can treat even malaria. I work in the medical sector. You can treat malaria, and sometimes it does not appear how you were taught in a textbook. But because you have been taught as a doctor to think beyond that, then you are able to put two and two together, piece the pieces together, and actually be able to treat malaria, even if it presents a little bit differently from how we were taught. Yeah, so education is very, very important. And I am a strong believer of investing in it.
In education.
Quality education. Quality is not necessarily maybe the cost. I'm not saying that perhaps you move all our children away from public to private schools. It's all about quality. Before I take my children to a school, I'm very keen on looking at the curriculum. No, curriculum is like the blueprint. What are our children being taught here? So that's very, very important. I mean, just navigating those systems of education, because I'm an educator myself. But if I was to give you a brief background about myself, especially immediately after high school, I went into medical school just right at that point. And I'm very grateful for my dad. I missed joining the mainstream medical school at that time with 1 point. Yeah, so I didn't join, as I would say, as a regular student. Of my dad knowing that I had an ambition to do medicine, took me through the private, we used to call it the parallel system of medicine, because he knew, I told him I'm becoming a doctor and it's non-negotiable.
Grounded.
I'm so grounded what I want to be. I can't do anything else. And I'm very happy that he believed in me, because at that time, the cost of the parallel system of medical school that time was quite costly compared to the regular, but he was able to help me to do that. So I navigated, medical school that time. And perhaps what I would like to say, there in between, that's when I met my future husband.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, in medical school. But I was very categorical that an undergraduate degree was not enough. It's not enough. Actually, in medicine, undergraduate, it's like just the stepping stone. It's not enough. That was very categorical in my mind at that point. So I remember telling my husband, yes, you have, at that time he was my fiancé, and we have met this time, but I think even if we settle down, you may have to give me a break from perhaps bringing children into this world, so that I can concentrate on what I know God had called me to do. And he was agreeable, luckily for me. So after my undergraduate, I immediately moved into my master just immediately, as soon as I finished,
Let me break you a little. So you guys married?
We married.
But after your degree?
Yes, during my internship. Yes, and because I had an intention of going for my master's soon after, we were like, we are married here, but starting a family, we need to come a little bit better later, because I understand the work that comes with bringing up a family. It's not just about children. It's about raising them responsibly, being present. I'm also a strong believer of present parenting and motherhood. So I didn't want to be an absent mother. I've given birth, I have children, but I am in school and things like that. So I just asked him, let's do that. Let me concentrate. And that's what I did. We got married, yes, but soon after I joined my first master's program, and it was a 4-year program. The it was quite rigorous, and night calls, working late hours. And it was soon after that we were able to start up my family.
Very nice, because I think this conversation ni kama tu inajipeleka, which leads us to our next question. Do you think most women underestimate the power of building themselves up first before making major life decisions like marriage?
I agree. Totally they do. Some. I don't know whether it's most, but actually some. Whereby in life, especially if you're not purposeful, you're not intentional as to what you want in life, you find that sometimes you get a detour. Life circumstances, reasons, sometimes marriage, family, and you sort of get a detour, and you lose yourself in that.
Lose direction.
Exactly, you lose direction because perhaps you are not very sure what it is you want to achieve in life. For me, I believe what I want to do in life is defined by my Creator, by my God. And I'm very strong about what He wants me to do in His life. Not what a man would want me to do. Well, whereas I respect the institution of marriage and the husbands that God has given us to lead us, I believe that God is supreme in all. So very, very important for women to be very clear of what they want in life. In spite or despite everything that is around them. So it's very important. And as I had said, it's good to have these goals set out before you even meet your husband.
And actually, remember you said it has, empowerment has to be internal first before it's external.
100%. And it begins, first of all, women need to know they are whole and complete the way they are.
Yeah.
Because you also know not everyone maybe is called out to be married. Some are, not everyone is. So again, even talking in the institution of marriage, but I also believe women who are also single, who perhaps are, single mothers or just single in themselves, it's very important for one to be empowered or whole in themselves.
Yeah.
And to know what is it that I want to achieve in this life? What has God called me to do in this life? And in knowing that, being confident, being rooted in that, then the rest easily flows. Yeah, it will flow very, very easily. So it's important for women to do that. Yeah.
Do you think there's a right time for when to get married?
Oh, wow. I don't think there's anything like a right time. It's the same thing.
Especially for a woman. Women are given age limit.
Yeah.
Sijui when you're 35, you're getting too old.
Yeah.
You're, how do they put it? It's a certain medical term. Give it to, like your
Biological
clock. It's running. So
perhaps the question is maybe not get married, maybe have children. The biological clock is all about having children, but of course, it's important to have a family before this is set up. So I wouldn't say there's a right age, and perhaps also reflecting and thinking about it, is there even a right age to get your master's, to pursue certain educational, prospects? Because I'm in school, and sometimes I find people starting to pursue their PhD at 50 or 60, whereas you find very young people, right from their undergraduate, they do their master's.
immediately, yeah.
I don't think there's a right time, but I think it's very important for you yourself to have set that goal within. Remember also, in as much as you set the goal that I want to do this within this timeline, please be very careful and understand that life is not linear. Life is not 1 + 1 is 2. Please be aware that transitions can, happen, or things can happen. But at the end of the day, they should not detour you from the goal that you had set for yourself. And I'm saying that because you remember in the era of COVID-19, the people who tried are the people who are able to pivot and adapt.
Yeah.
You remember what I said, even education, it's all about exposure, it's all about thinking and being adaptable.
Yeah.
Because if you're not able to do that, you will have set your goal. I want to get married at the age of 23. I want to get my first child at the end of 25. But what if something happened?
Yeah.
Even you could get an illness
that
comes in between that time. What if that doesn't happen? Does it mean your goal is crushed? No. So I don't think there's a right time, though I believe it's good to set goals. And I've said I'm a strong believer in writing them down.
Yeah.
Just write it down, put it plain. When you write things down, they become plain. And I don't know whether you're like me, but especially when I've journaled things 5 years later and I go back, I see, this is what I had written. It has come to pass.
Yeah.
And I think you see the fullness of time. God makes everything beautiful.
Right.
Yeah. So I do want us to look at it. There's no really right time. But it's good to set goals, but really be adaptable and flexible. And even if life brings lemons, make lemonade. If challenges come, learn to transition, learn to overcome that, looking towards the goal that you had set.
Oh, nice. So there's no time limit.
Yeah.
So are there achievements that you think a woman should have at least done before going into marriage?
Okay. Before going into marriage, are there achievements a woman should have? I think the greatest achievement a woman can have in life, be married, post-marriage, and all that, is knowing who they are. And I say that in its simplicity, but if a woman really reflects on what that means and what it encompasses, I think that's the most important thing that a woman can do. Know who they are, know their identity, because identity is not defined by our careers. Careers can come and go.
Yes.
Yeah. You can also be a mother today and unfortunately not a mother tomorrow. Yeah. You can be married today and not married. Those situations or circumstances are very fluid. They can change. So I think the first thing that a woman would really need to know or have is who they are. Yeah, I'm a strong believer of faith. So for me, I'd say who I am in Christ, who I am in God. But beyond that, who they have been created to be and do. So it's more about who before what and how. Who are you? Who are you? And after that, they need now to know their why. The why is, Wangari, why are you on this earth? So once those things are very clear in your mind and your heart, as is said, empowerment is an inside-out business. Remember also, it's a daily thing. You may not have this, all these things on day one, like you can define everything. But at least having that confidence is very, very important. So I wouldn't say there's anything you need to achieve. You just need to know who you are. It's very, very important. Education, and I want us to think about education, not just about university achieving of degree, but some point of capacity building. You need to be at least literate in life, school of life, know a bit about finances. You need to just have your own personal goals.
Yeah.
As you're saying, you need to be complete in yourself. The man also completing himself before you to come together. So what are your goals and what you plan to do academically, educational, professionally, career, spiritually, faith matters, socially? You know, I mean, you need to have your own sort of social life. Sometimes even what happens in marriage and why there are a lot of disappointments, according to me, is coming with an expectation that the husband will make you whole and complete.
Yeah.
They will be your social capital, you know, they'll be your friend, your best friend, your husband, and everything in between. I mean, and they will help you in so many other things. But I think if we're able to define these things for ourselves, know what we want, once we come together with the future partner God has given us or set aside for us, it will be a very easy flow.
Interesting, which leads us now to our next question. You know, I think one of the challenges that most of marriages are going through is there being a balance, especially on a woman becoming independent.
Yeah.
So how do you maintain your identity and independence as a woman in a marriage?
Yeah, good question. And in my own thinking, and as we are saying, perhaps allow me to use empowerment, because independence is a very strong term. And I don't want to be accused of asking women or saying women in marriages independent. It's a term that can be misused. So perhaps let me use the word empowerment. I think about it, and please allow me, a lot of my references are based on faith, but I think about it from, you've read perhaps on some, you've read The Virtuous Woman. Have you read the script? It's in Proverbs 31. But when I was looking at this, and I think these are principles anyone in and out of faith can apply. This woman, the story has been written, number one, you see her worth was much more than rubies. She got the worth of rubies, so you can imagine. The story goes, she would wake up at night when people are asleep. She would work with her own hands. People are asleep, she wakes up, she lights up the bulb, she takes care of her household. She's out there bringing the merchant ships from far, meaning she's in that business. She has a vineyard, so she's planting things and they are growing. She's into the business of selling and buying all that. She has servants, so it means she's wealthy. For you to have servants, she takes care of her servants and things like that. I mean, you could see all that. And can you imagine, in as much as she was doing all that, the husband could rise up and call her blessed and praise her children too. So it means she was also doing all these things within a family setting. The husband could still be considered and respected at the gates and things like that. But for me, it's the best example I could think about empowerment as a woman. There is nothing this woman couldn't do. Do you know she was dressed in scarlet? Meaning she did not stop taking care of herself.
Yeah.
In as much as she was doing so much, she was still taking care of herself. I think her bed, they talk about her beddings, her children, her family, everything. But you can also see her working. Her light does not go out at night. That's what empowerment is to me. That's how I think about it, to be honest. It does not stop you from becoming